So today we're going to talk about how to make a net, and this is an example of one I've already made. Now, you can use the same method to make a hammock. Okay, to make our net, first we need our netting needle, which is this, and our spacer, which is this. This spacer, the width of this spacer here is basically exactly the same size as one side of each square of the net. Okay. So to start your net, you need to load the needle, and that's pretty easy. You just hold some on there, right round, and then around the other side, and you just keep working your way round. Okay, so the trickiest part is always the start. So we've kind of fed a length. I'm just going to do one more off here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to do 2 wraps around here, and this gives us our first loop size. Now, the easiest way is you just take an overhand knot, like so, and that's our overhand knot. And then I'm going to put the overhand knot onto here, and then we're going to do our first loop, but this one's going to be different to all the others, so this is a little bit trickier. So you take your needle and you go up through, okay, and then this is the tricky part. You want your knot, you want this first knot halfway up the loop between the peg and your spacer. So you end up with something looking like this. Okay. And then from here, we're going to take, so you can see from there, you're going to put your thumb on this, keep it nice and secure. You're going to go through, round the back of those, and then you're going to come up and then through the loop that you just made. Okay, and then from there you just pull tight. Okay, so there we go. So you can see we've got 2 loops. Okay, so this is the beginning of our net. So what we're going to do is we're going to build one long run of loops, and then each of these loops or holes is going to be one side of the net. So you'll have, say, I don't know, if your net say a foot long, which is something what we'll do because we're doing a demo. You just do as many loops as you need to be for a foot long. Okay, so from there, this is where you just repeat. So you take your spacer, you put it behind. Okay, and then you bring it down to this point here and you pinch with your thumb, and then again you take your needle, you pass it behind those 2 there, and then through the loop you just made and pull tight. Okay, so we go, there's another loop. I'm going to take it all off, give ourselves a bit more string. Okay, and then you find the last loop you made, thread the needle through, pull it down, pass the needle through the two. Ooh. Try not to get it in a tangle because you haven't got enough string. Okay, and there's the loop, so you pass it through. Okay, and there's your next loop. Okay, and then keep it going. So you thread through the loop. Ooh. Down the spacer, pinch, gonna go through the back of the two, round, you created this loop, and then up through the loop, and pull tight. I'll just take this off here and we can see all the holes and the loops. So you can see we've got our first run of our net. Now what we're going to do is we're going to basically pick up all the first loops. So I've just got a carabiner here, but you can just use a piece of string or anything. I'm just using this so it's easy for you to see what I'm doing. So you just take that, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now each one of those first loops is looped on the carabiner. Okay, and we're just gonna leave the carabiner there. Okay, actually I'm right-handed, so I'm gonna flip this over the other side. And what you end up with is all of those second loops down below. We've done our first row of net, we've got it hooked, and you can see these are the loops for our net. Okay, and so what you do is you do the same as what you were doing before. You take your spacer and your netting needle, you pass it through the loop. Ooh. Pull down, put your thumb on, around the back, through your loop, and tighten. Now you can see what just happened there. This is now sliding, okay, and we don't want that to slide. So how we fix that is I'm going to show you with this thicker cord here, essentially the knot that you're making. So we're going to make ourselves a loop. This is the loop that you pick up. You're then bringing the end through, and then you're going round the back, and then putting the end back through the loop you just made. Ooh. Okay, and then all you're doing is just pulling tight. So that's actually a sheet bend. So all you're doing is making multiple sheet bends using a spacer and a lot of cord. Now your spacer keeps the square size, but the sheet bend's obviously the knot that you're actually using. Now one common thing that does happen is this loop at the back, if this doesn't get tightened up the top and it gets tightened down here, what you end up with is effectively like a slip knot, and you'll find it is moving around and it's not really biting on the net. So all you have to do is loosen it off, slide it up, and then pull down, and then you get your tight sheep bend. As we just loosen knot off a little bit, bring it the other side. There's the junction, and pull tight. Okay, so there's one down. Okay, then we pick up the second one, bring that down. Now you're going through just those two that you just got. Okay. And you can see I'm making sure that my knot is going higher up. So that's now 2. Then we've got number 3. That's number 3. And then number 4. Okay, so there we go, there's our next row. Okay, so we can flip this over and start again. So as you can see, this is also, so this is using that method. You can see all I've done is I've put the carabiner up in the tree and hooked it up in the tree, and then just continued to do it. I actually prefer to be to building the net standing up than sitting down or lying on the ground. You just get less things caught up in the net. But that's the net, or a hammock, depending, and then you can let it out. You can see here too, where I've run out of string on the netting needle, and I've just re-threaded it and then tied a knot to join the two. There's another one up here as well. But essentially that's the net, and you can see now that the spacer is exactly same size, so all these squares are built evenly and you get a nice good solid net. So as you can see,